Hey, TikTokers, there's something serious going on in this world. It's down on our southern border. We are getting invaded right now by 138 countries.
138? We don't even have 50 countries south of our border.
They're opening prisons in all the countries around the world, and they're sending all of them sorry son of a bitches across our southern border. Joe Biden is letting our country get invaded right now. 200 years ago, if it was happening, our military would have been on our southern border killing those son of a bitches. Biden is letting them come across on purpose, ruining this country. He thinks when them damn migrants come across, they all gonna vote Democrat. They tearing this country to hell and back.
We get it, you're racist. But dude, you gotta give us some substance, right?
They bring in fentanyl, human smuggling, weapons. They're doing everything they can to run this damn country. We are getting invaded. 200 years ago, we'd have had our army down on our southern border killing those son of a bitches. We have no borders no more. Biden is running this damn country. It's time to stand up and do something about it. Send the military down there and let them mow the son of a bitches down. We are in a war right now.
Mow them down? I'm sure this guy also considers himself pro-life. Any evidence to back up those claims? Or are you just mindlessly repeating talking points?
What's the most important issue right now for you in the country?
The economy and the border.
And why are those your top issues?
Because with the border, we have all these illegals coming in, bringing in drugs, killing our people, and it's disgusting. They're bringing a lot of crime and robberies and just killing our people.
Now it's exhausting confronting these MAGA morons about their disinformation and fear about the border. So that's why I've come up with this list of 4 things that you can tell your MAGA coworker, neighbor, friend, family member about the border when they confront you with that misinformation. Who knows, maybe you can even use it at Thanksgiving. Or don't. The first thing to know is that Biden's border policy is just as restrictive, or even arguably more restrictive, than Donald Trump's border policy. So after the expiration of Title 42 in May, the Joe Biden administration decided to impose a new rule called the Circumvention of Lawful Pathways, which will deny anyone, any undocumented immigrant, from seeking asylum unless they meet 3 qualifications, at least one of those 3 qualifications. And those 3 include, they must either have already been processed and authorized by the Department of Homeland Security, they must have either used the CBP-1 app to schedule an appointment and a place to present themselves at a lawful point of entry, or they must have already been denied asylum in a third country that they were passing through en route to the United States. If you do not have one of those 3, then you are denied, deported, and you are not going to be let into the country. Meaning the border is not open and that you do not have 138 countries invading the southern border. We only even have 33 countries south of the United States. Now, the second thing is that undocumented immigrants aren't smuggling in fentanyl, or if they are, it's only a very small group of them. Research compiled from the Cato Institute, a right-leaning think tank, proves that 86.3% of all convicted fentanyl drug traffickers were U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens, which is 10 times greater than the undocumented immigrants. And that also 90% of all fentanyl seizures happen at legal points of entry through a car search, an illicit car search. Meaning that it's not undocumented immigrants, it's not a Mexican man with a backpack that has fentanyl just crossing the border. That's not a thing. And this is from a right-leaning institute. And then also, lastly, 99% of all fentanyl smuggling, all of that is funded by U.S. citizens. You want to blame someone for fentanyl? Blame U.S. citizens. Third, undocumented immigrants who want to move to this country are often waiting years and years just to get a court hearing. On average, immigrants have to wait 58 months, which is 5 years, some having to wait 10 years just to get a court date in front of a judge to ask about their legal status. And these are people fleeing violence, fleeing instability from their countries. So how can you blame them when they're just trying to provide for their families and provide a livelihood? Yet people like that dude earlier wanted to mow them down. These people are being failed by the system. The system isn't broken, it's barely even there. And lastly, immigrants built this country, and we're all living on stolen land from the Native Americans. All white people have an immigration story, whether you were a colonizer for coming to America for new rebirth, religious freedom, and to establish a livelihood, or you were an immigrant that decided to come over maybe in the 20s through Ellis Island. My point is, as soon as the immigrants started being predominantly brown or people of color, all of a sudden a whole bunch of white people were like, no, you can't come in. So seriously, your racism has no place because immigrants were the ones that built this country. And white people, I encourage you to find your immigration story. I have found mine. So the next time that your MAGA coworker, friend, family member, neighbor starts spouting off about, oh my God, the border, they're pouring over the border, literally just say those few things: that fentanyl is being trafficked in by US citizens at legal points of entry, that undocumented immigrants are having to wait 5 to 10 years in front of a judge in order just to get a hearing, and that Biden's border policy is arguably even more restrictive than Donald Trump's border policy, Title 42. And maybe, just maybe, providing that evidence and information will get them to change their mind, or at least plant a seed for them to cultivate that knowledge later on. My name is Scott Johnson. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to Rebel HQ, and you can find more of me, a Southern political gay guy, on my YouTube and my TikTok, which are both in the description box below. It's really, really awesome. I do a morning live show on TikTok at 7 a.m., 7:15 sometimes. So I hope to see you there. Have a nice day.